By now we know Saraku the Go has only died once in this game that is even harder than the hardest game you can think of, which after going on a boss killing streak, he's now about to face off with the most stupidly broken in-game boss to ever exist. Remember this name, the Tomb Guard, Weathermon. Saraku will be ranked on the G tier list in this video, but right now he's with his stalker. A few days later, after leaving the store, Saraku encounters Rai, but he has completely forgot who she was. After remembering who she was, Rai asks him out, but he says he's busy and runs off. Now something big is about to happen. Our boy here and his friends, called Pentagon and Katsu, the pro gamer. They're all veteran trash gamers who plan to take on a legendary monster called Weathermon the Tomb Guard. He's stupidly overpowered, and I would say he's way stronger than the Night King. As he spawns in, he tells Emu that he will be fighting Weathermon. She begins freaking out though and panics before opening a portal and running through it. Saraku is now in front of the rabbit boss. The boss asks if he's serious about fighting the Tomb Guard. He says that he's serious and says that he's gonna fight the boss, but this time, not alone. He has decided to team up with his overpowered brodies. The rabbit boss though tells him that it's impossible to win against Weathermon. The devs themselves purposely made it like that. After showing his respect and making a great speech to the rabbit boss, the boss tells him to follow him. He also called in his daughter. The boss asks for Saraku's blade before telling his daughter that he will be ascending these blades to help Saraku. He takes the armor of the giant beetle that Saraku acquired from before melting it and forging it. This old man here has not been in the forge for a while, so him being here shows how much he respects Saraku. After a few hours, the moon blades are finally done. These blades are absolutely awesome. As Saraku picks them up, he realizes that he's not high enough level and becomes depressed. Later he meets up with Pentagon and Katsu. Pentagon tells them to level up since she's level 99 while they are horribly under level for this boss fight. So they get to this iron cave. The goal is to hit level 50. Saraku asks what level she is. She says level 25 and brother begins laughing at her, saying that he can't even remember when he was in his 20s. By the way, this brother is only level 31. As they're speaking, this red block appears. Katsu deals with it and easily defeats it. Her special skill is quite powerful. It's a monk build, while Saraku is a luck build. They traverse this place after almost getting lost. The maps say that they should jump in here, which Katsu decides to jump in first. Emu is surprised by her bravery, but Saraku has to correct her and say that that's a he. Saraku picks up Emu and they jump in. They slide down and find this secret area. It's a good place to grind. They use this puny rod to capture fishes that will level them up. Bro is disappointed though when he finds just a salmon, while Katsu over here has caught something freaking massive. It's a colossal serpent. Saraku pulls out a weapon that we didn't even know about. It was made by the daughter of the boss bunny. He had gotten worried about having too many rabbit buns, but that doesn't matter right now because they're now fighting the serpent. Katsu retreats thinking that they are too low level to fight this beast, but Saraku has a special weapon that begins breaking the defense of this monster. Katsu comes in and smashes its weak spot. After hurting it bad, Emu jumps in to help but almost gets killed. Katsu saves her and together they defeat the serpent with relative ease. Can we also talk about Saraku's harem? Like Rai, Katsu, Pentagon, Emu, the brown bunny? Damn, save some for... Anyways, they leveled up to 40 and 42. Pentagon is impressed, which I'll have to note that Saraku tries to keep Katsu quiet about the fact that since he missed the start of town, he didn't know that he could merge special skills and upgrade them. Pentagon later takes them to a secret area where Weathermon is. It's actually really awesome and beautiful. Katsu points out the girl who looks like a ghost. Pentagon looks rather friendly with her though, and they introduce themselves. They're about to fight Weathermon, one of the 7 legendary beasts. Remember the last time Saraku fought one? He got whooped. Even till now, that was the only time he died, which is actually crazy. They accept the quest and the girl here begins using backstore no jutsu. They're surprised when Pentagon looks to be invested, since most of the time she's a psychopath who loves tormenting NPCs. She ends up beating the two up for making fun of her. They get into this weird pose to show submission, while she's over here embarrassed for feeling emotional over a game. But our boy Saraku says it's okay. That makes it more exciting and immersive. Katsu tries to help Saraku with PP training, but after Pentagon encourages them for the upcoming difficult battle, they stand proud and prepare themselves. The next day, Saraku goes to visit a skill garden. After learning the game's mechanic that he missed at the tutorial, the sister of Emu helps him learn how to merge them together, which after doing so, she insures him and makes him pay 6,000 money. She waits a short while and he's surprised by how fast. What the hell is that? Well, it doesn't seem like Saraku minds, cause he just begins chugging it like it's nothing. He gains new combo skills and it's definitely gonna help him out. This rabbit girl then offers him some unique skills and tells him that she'll give him a discount. Which as Emu tries to warn Saraku of her sister being a money-hungry, she gets assassinated by her sister. Saraku says don't worry, he doesn't mind paying absurd prices. He tells her his budget, and here comes the best way to go bankrupt. He asks if this really is a discount, which she begins pressuring him into becoming homeless. He's now here, depressed, cause he's broke. Later the crew meets up and Pentagon tells them that she's gonna betray her bands of PKers to distract everyone from the fight with Weathermon. Afterwards, the wife and husband have tea together. Emu is about to give him something, but gets interrupted by a bird attacking Saraku. Emu gets jealous and defends him, but turns out that it's carrying a letter. Saraku checks the letter and finds that it's Over Armor. It's written rather formal. Pretty much Over Armor is asking Saraku if he wants to check out the new updates with her. As he's about to reject Over Armor, another bird comes in to steal Emu's man.
You're a persistent little grackle, aren't you? No one takes my Saraku from me!
Easy, girl. It's a bird of prey, not a grackle. Actually, rabbits and birds spend a lot of time on two legs. Maybe you'd hit it off?
Saraku, what the hell? Did you just suggest this bird and emu clap? What the actual hell? After getting beaten up, they read the mail and it's Over Armor again saying something urgent has come up and she can't go anymore. Saraku sends this bird off with a letter saying, alright, it's cool. The boss shows up and asks if he's serious about facing Weathermon. No one has ever survived a legendary beast. Saraku might be no different. Even so, it doesn't matter. He will defeat Weathermon no matter what. The boss leaves and believes in him, while Emu pulls out a necklace that would aid him in the fight. He says he doesn't need it though, causing Emu to be in shock. He then says it will certainly help and thanks her. She puts it on for him and leans against him, telling him that she will be eagerly waiting for him here. Things are getting intense as the band that Pentagon betrayed had their location leaked and are now being ambushed by one of the most powerful guilds. They are player killers, so Over Armor is annihilating all of them. The crew though is here at the boss arena. They're just chatting while Pentagon comes in and says that she's done backstabbing her teammates. They soon join the party and Pentagon goes over the plan before entering the portal that leads them to this place that looks rather different and more depressing now. They spot Weathermon himself. He's a legendary boss as expected and is built like a freaking beast. As Weathermon the unit gets up, this brother Saraku walks up to him like a freaking badass. Weathermon gets into his stance and Saraku fully approaches him before saying that it's time for this old man to go to sleep. The samurai boss does an instant attack. It's light work for our brother though, so he charges in and attacks the boss. The boss instantly counters though, and as Saraku summons his blade and charges, Saraku does a perfect parry and begins fighting against the boss. This is the first time Saraku has fought this boss, and he's already doing better than a veteran player. To defeat Weathermon though, they must last for at least 10 minutes, which is gonna be crazy hard cause all of his attacks are instant kill, while Saraku is soloing this boss. These two are watching this like some side characters. Kasu is over here acting like he's gonna do something by making it seem like he's taking in the boss's attack pattern, but brother never even fights Weathermon, so it doesn't even matter. Pentagon is over here gambling her life savings on this battle. Ill party, but Saraku doesn't need these two. Actually, I take it back, cause Saraku instantly gets slashed and killed. Luckily, Katsu revives him, and now I haven't told you this, but it's impossible to do a no-death run with a boss this OP, so they brought a bunch of revival items with them. First death, and our brother Saraku is really feeling the heat. Weathermon tries to cut down Katsu, but he's really a slippery fella. This gives time for Saraku to come in with these new daggers. His attacks do nothing and he backs up. Weathermon though does the powerful attack that sends instant kill lightning coming down on him. Saraku manages to avoid it but sees a giant hand coming to high-five his face. He gets instantly killed, and as Katsu comes in thinking that he's the stuff, he also dies. The two are now playing Dying Simulator, while Pentagon is playing Revive the Two Idiots and Gamble Your Life Saving Simulator. Luckily, he survived 10 minutes. I forgot to say, that was only the first phase, so prepare them cheeks, cause Weathermon suddenly activates this summon. It's a giant horse that Katsu is tasked with dealing with. He'll be fighting, well, running from that, while Saraku deals with Weathermon. Pencil Knight tells him to not let Weathermon on that horse or they're doomed. So after dodging a bunch more missiles and a lot of lasers, he spots a ladder and climbs onto the horse before using a whip to ride this baby. Now, Pentagon is gambling for a good reason. She's using the money she gambles to provide our boys here with a stat buff. They really need it, and after acquiring them points, Saraku notices a nice increase in his luck and stam. He realizes weapons won't do anything, so he charges in and decides to go after this man's weapon, like how he did with the tree mage. After knocking out the sword, he captures this heavy-ass blade. Saruka is doing well, but Katsu isn't. But Saruka suddenly gets touched by death itself. It might have made things worse. Weathermon tries to go after Pentagon, their main support. Saruko manages to come in though and slash the samurai, but in the process, he gets grabbed and smashed into the ground. He dies and Weathermon now focuses on Pentagon. She does her best to avoid his high five attack and revives Sanraku, cause without him, they would not have gotten this far. Sanraku is back and begins clashing with the overpowered samurai. They're waiting for another 10 minutes to be up. The person enjoying this fight most though is Kasu, who is really into bondage play. After the minutes are up, everything pauses and Weathermon drops to his knees. The battle is not over. Pentagon warns them that this is the farthest anyone has ever gone, cause this man is about to do an instant kill area attack. So she pulls out a bottle of Gamer Girl bathwater to prevent this old man from using that move. He begins screaming like someone just threw the most disgusting thing on him. The dude gets up like a menace and decides to wipe the floor with these stupid players. Kasu on the other hand gets freed from his bondage. This horse becomes a giant mech now, which it's obvious that if Weathermon gets into that, they'll also be dead. Pentagon says that maybe to beat this final phase, they have to last another 10 minutes. She leaves this to Sanruko. While Sanruko isn't very fond of playing Dodge All Day Simulator, he's here to whoop this overpowered boss. He manages to block his attack and scrape his armor. Weathermon tries to cut him down, but he is suddenly deflected. Sanruko jumps back and reveals his new badass helmet. He can now also equip these new sick moonblades. Sanruko has been practicing a lot, so he can parry with this new helmet. It lets him land a super nice critical, but he wonders if dude can even take damage. Weathermon sprints at him, which Sanruko does this new special move to distract him. Using this chance, he charges him and stabs him in the back. After giving him 20 back shots, the samurai is brought to his knees, while Sanruko is laughing like a maniac. Pentagon has to defeat this mech. If they don't, Sanruko won't be able to win this fight with Weathermon, cause if this beast gets merged with Weathermon, it'll be all over. They keep running, but Kasu doesn't want to anymore and decides to get tied up again. He dies and has to be revived again. Pentagon distracts the mech while Kasu takes these suspicious pills. After taking them without reading the side effects, his screen goes black and white as he's like, oh, this ain't that bad. Pentagon tells him that that's not the only side effect, cause you see, Kasu here would lose the level every 30 seconds. Kasu begins regretting taking these pills, but he decides, I'll put them to use, since it does buff me. He begins beating up the mech and Pentagon comes in to deal a powerful blow. She wonders if the attack did anything, since this mech counters with a blast. Sanruko has begun to learn all the moves Weathermon can do. He climaxes and boosts himself. He has many sick skills to help him fight against a higher level player. As he's fighting Weathermon, he notices the boss get into a predictable attack. He charges in to parry it, but as he parries, he's confused when the attack didn't come at all. To be honest, the boss completely stopped moving. The boss notices the necklace that was given by Sanruko's wife. This boss begins talking about his sad past, but skip dialogue. Samurai now looks like a freaking demon and tells Sanraku to try surviving his clear sky conquest. Come at me, bro. The boss gets into a stance and Sanraku thinks that it's all the same, but it's different now. The boss is now spamming a bunch of moves. As Sanraku is dodging, Weathermon dashes forward to grab him, but he gets parried by Sanraku. Sanraku notes that this boss no longer has a cooldown, so he can pretty much spam the same overpowered move over and over again. Weathermon digs his blade into the ground and fire appears before the serpent chases after our boy. He avoids it, but it goes into the sky and summons this black fog. It allows Weathermon to summon a ton of fire serpents from the sky to rain down on Sanraku. Sanraku is worried if it's even possible to defeat such a boss. He decides to check his inventory, but Weathermon teleports and prepares to cut him down. Sanraku tries to move, but his feet are planted to the ground. Sanraku decides to face this powerful attack head on and prepares to use the most perfect parry he can muster.
I gotta try and parry. It's now or never.
Behold, the destroyer of dragons. Sky clear.
Sanraku is cut down and completely finished. This boss really lives up to the name. No wonder why no one could beat him. He's just too strong. But hey, that's how we like it. If it was easy, it wouldn't be very fun. Sanraku's wife is also worried for him, so there's no turning back. Bring it on, Weathermon. You can never truly defeat a person who never gives up. After reviving, Sanraku calculates how to beat this fool. The samurai suddenly says though, try as you might, but until you surpass my ultimate, I will not fall into the jaws of defeat. Sanraku recognizes this brother is about to do the same damn thing. And yet, but Weathermon begins spamming the combos. Sanraku is completely overwhelmed. He can dodge these, but what about the last attack? The fire serpents are easy to him now, and all these attacks, despite this only being the second time, he knows it in his bones. Then here comes the last attack. He gets frozen, throws a revive, as he gets cut down in an instant. This boss Nah, it's stupidly cracked. Sanraku gets killed over and over and over again. Until you surpass my ultimate, I will not fall into the jaws of defeat. Sanraku keeps dodging and getting killed by the last attack. The boss is stupidly hard, but there has to be something, some way to defeat it. The game just won't allow you to dodge that last attack. Very well, Sanraku here will face it head on. Katsu and Pentagon have defeated the giant mech. Now it's all up to Sanraku to finish this old warrior off once and for all. They see Sanraku get killed. He's just used up his last resurrection item. He pulls out his blade, charges up Hunger Wolf and Climax Boost. This will be his last stand. It's all or nothing. This is it, Weathermon. This is the last time you'll be seeing that line. Sanraku instantly dodges the absurdly fast attack and Weathermon comes in to deck him. He avoids it without a break. Sanraku almost gets killed by the smoke can. The lightning attacks are also faster this time, but Sanraku knows it by now. He's done this over 20 times. He suddenly activates the special blades move. It merges and turns into no longer moon blades, but twin moon. Sanraku's legs get planted to the ground. It's coming. The final attack. As Sanraku thinks that he has this in the bag, he realizes one of his skill cannot be activated. It requires him to be nearly dead, which he had completely looked over. Suddenly, a dagger hits the eye of the old samurai. Sanraku uses the chance to injure himself before powering up beyond Super Saiyan and into the realm of God of Gaming. Weathermon brings down his blade and our boy Sanraku meets him head on. The blades clash and it creates a violent vortex of energy. It's unbelievable that Sanraku right now is doing the impossible. That is, defeating Weathermon once and for all. Weathermon's blade gets sent flying back and it's clear that this battle has been won. It's over, Weathermon. The jaws of defeat awaits.
Brilliant.
After Weathermon's defeat, he walks over to his broken blade and picks it up. Sanraku wonders if he still needs to pummel this old man some more. But no, it's really over now. Weathermon's legendary existence is now coming to an end. He kneels down before this grave before completely disappearing into nothingness. The cherry tree dies in the area transforms back into a field of red roses. This ghost girl thanks them for putting her husband to rest. He had been tied down to her death ever since and was unable to follow her into the afterlife. So these three gamers did a good deed. The ghost girl and Pentagon were really close, but this is goodbye now. After doing so, Pentagon is crying? Who knew she could cry? The crew teases her about it, but to stay on track, they completed the quest and are excited to see what awesome loot awaits them. After defeating the first legendary boss to ever be defeated, they're now about to celebrate. This bell though comes out of nowhere and begins snitching on them. Yep, Pentagon, Saruka, and Katsu defeated Weathermon. This is where you can find their address and steal the loot. Everyone is shocked that a group of nobodies were the first ones to defeat a legendary boss that even big guilds couldn't touch. The devs were also shocked and never intended for Weathermon to be defeated. This pretty much means they were trying to make it impossible to defeat. To summarize, they got a glorified art museum as a reward, which sucks cause they can't even use any of these items since it requires some sort of ancient battery pack. Now for Sanraku's ranking on the G tier list. He's gotten laid from non-humans as well. He was wiping out most of his enemies in game and made veterans look like newbies based off the way he handled things. I gotta rank this brother on the Giga Chad tier.
Alright, anime is good and all, but there's something more important. It's our world. Real life. Now, I'm starting something called Project Brighter Day, okay? It's gonna be a community thing where we go out and do something to help the community. Your community or any community or people in need. Just little gestures like that can make the world a brighter place. And pretty much our community, right? I don't want to be like other anime communities, pretty much. I want us to be freaking G's, right? If we're ranking people on the G tier list, we might as well at least try our best, right? To be good, upstanding people. Pretty much go out and do something good for the world, man. Just little things, maybe like give someone a candy bar or something. And that's good enough, you know, and calming down, right? Calming down those kind gestures, you know, just if we all do it, man, it's gonna affect the world. I'm telling y'all. Let's get started.